Brutal flip. Oh my god. I didn't see that was there.
You just got wrecked.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an awesome day today. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency having a little bit of a mixed Monday over here. Bitcoin actually down almost 1%. Now we have had 3 consecutive Bitcoin leg ups. This is the longest sideways consolidation that we've seen so far. In fact, this morning we actually saw Bitcoin pushing down a little bit, right? Now, the one thing I want to mention right off the bat is that we actually have had a nice weekly close. Right here, you can actually see that this is the highest weekly close that Bitcoin has had since the week of August 24th. However, we did open up with a giant CME futures gap, and I'm sure you've probably already heard about that by now, but some people are saying this could be bearish for Bitcoin. Maybe we've topped out. We may have to go down, fill the gap, or this could be it for the big move. Well, I do want to discuss that today. I want to talk about the bearish potential of the CME futures gap, but what I really want to go into is actually a Bitcoin pattern that we talked about. I think this was like 2 months ago, and it has actually played out very interestingly so far. And I want to show you how, if we do continue on this trajectory, Bitcoin is going to go to $15,500, and it could potentially happen within the next month, maybe even sooner. Now, you may be saying that sounds crazy. We'll get into that. We're going to go into the bullish scenario, the bearish scenario, but ultimately, regardless of what happens short term, I am extremely bullish on Bitcoin, and I will get into that because a lot of people are saying, is this really like 2016? Is it actually the same? Could 2021 be the next 2017 where we have that insane Bitcoin blast off to 100K, 200K, 300K, or is it just a bunch of hype and there's no way that Bitcoin's going to do that? Well, that is a topic that I do actually want to discuss today. We're going to also talk about the DeFi bubble and also the fact that we had $12 million, about 1,000 Bitcoin has actually been moved from a Satoshi era wallet, and it's been sending amounts of 50 Bitcoin to all random addresses. So we're going to talk about, is this something we should be worried about? And actually today we're giving away 2 ledgers. If you know why, well, then you are a trooper because you watched to the end of all my videos. So congratulations to everyone. Also, if you're not subscribed, definitely consider it. And without further ado, let's dive into the chart. So having a look right here, as I said, we did have a nice weekly close right here for, now obviously we did just start a new week. We have pulled down a little bit, but this is the highest weekly close that we've had pretty much, like I said, since August 24th. Now, actually, if I put on the chart right here, you will notice that we're not really in super bullish or super bearish territory. We're actually right in the center of this ascending channel. Now, it could potentially provide a little bit of short-term resistance to break back above that. However, if we do get above that, the next stop is 12,000, followed by about 12,800. Now, that is to the bullish side of things. Now, having a look over here, you can see actually Josh Rager said, heck of a weekly close for Bitcoin. Price is back in previous range prior to break, and personally, I don't see why we can't see $12,000 this week, right? But having a look right here, this doesn't really look too great. Now, this is on the 30-minute, but you can see right here, we put in a nice bull pennant pump. We put in another bull pennant pump. Now, you could have argued this was either a flag or a pennant because it did kind of bounce around in sort of more of a flag movement right here, but then we got to the end and we had this drop. Now, the other thing I want to point out too is if you actually look at the VPVR right here, you might not be able to see it behind my head. We do have the highest level of it right around $11,068. You can round that to basically 11,100. So right in this area right here, there's not a lot of volume for Bitcoin. And the reason that people are calling for that is because we did in fact put in another CME futures gap. Now you can see that actually since the open, we already did try to fill partially the gap. So one of the big controversies is these gaps. I'm not going to go into it, but do we have to actually fill the gaps? Well, we do usually tend to fill them. However, for example, if we go back here and have a look at this gap that came down to $9,740, we didn't actually technically fill it But the question is, what was this move from 12,200 all the way down to 9,850? Did we actually technically fill the gap? Was that considered enough? Most traditional traders would actually say yes. You do not actually have to mathematically 100% fill the gap down to the number, but just showing some kind of pressure towards the gap actually is enough to create validation. And we actually have already seen that move this morning. Technically, it could go down, another $70 or $80 or so, but arguably we may have already filled the gap. Now, here is the thing I want to talk about. We are technically still in this bullish zone, and I talked about getting inside of this range, and that's between the $11,100 and the $11,500 level. It could be healthy for Bitcoin to potentially just accumulate, bouncing up and down, maybe little wicks to the top, little wicks to the bottom, but ultimately I am still bullish on Bitcoin. You can see right here on the monthly chart, we have a beautiful month so far. We are well above the level we needed to get above, which was only 10,000. It's like 10,800, and that was because of this right here, where we had the $14,000 blow off top last year, and we had that close at 10,763. So anything above that level is still bullish, right? Not to mention the fact that we are still on a beautiful uptrend. I mean, you can clearly see that we are putting in higher highs and higher lows. Now, we haven't put in a higher high since August, but obviously on the macro, we have to take these things month by month. You have to zoom out and you have to look at it. If you're trying to trade things on the tiny little, 5-hour, whatever, 1 hour, 4 hour chart, things can get a little bit crazy. There's lots of insane Bart Simpson patterns and crazy not capitulation, but they call them scam wicks to the up and down side, right? But here is the pattern that I want to discuss. And Kaleo Crypto actually brought it up. He says, before and after I hit the play button, and this is an amazing Fractal, shout out to him. He actually predicted this. Look at this. This is way, way, way back here in May of last year. And he had his prediction of where Bitcoin could be heading to. And obviously he sees it before 2022 hitting potentially upwards to 160,000. Now fast forward to the actual Bitcoin chart playing out, we are almost exactly where he called it. In fact, Bitcoin has been even more volatile than he originally predicted. And if we do have a look at this definitely shows that we could have a very massive Bitcoin spike potentially within the next month, maybe even up to the 15,000s. Now, how is that possible? Well, if you remember, and there was a lot of criticism on this, by the way, because it's not a very common pattern and it's something that shows up very rare. But what we had basically starting right here was this crazy a descending broadening wedge, and you can see it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it looks like a megaphone. And right here we had this sort of consolidation. We stayed above the resistance and we had a blast off. Now let me show you super quick. A descending broadening wedge is a bullish chart pattern said to be a reversal pattern. It is formed by two diverging bullish lines, formation of one after a trough. You can see right here, in this case, you have an 80% exit of being bullish. Oh, and if you're wondering what happens if it comes after a pump, after a peak, well, guess what? In 79% of the cases, it is also bullish. This type of pattern right here, you can see appears during the correction in a bullish move. It is a bullish continuation pattern. So whether we're looking at this from, breaking out to having a retracement or having a massive dump to then having a rally after that, you can see right here, we've basically put that in. We had the confirmation, we had the previous resistance become support, and Bitcoin has moved up since that point. So yes, short term, we could potentially fill this gap. We might even go down to retest some of the previous support. I've even spoken about going below 10,000 again, possibly could happen, but ultimately Bitcoin is extremely bullish in my opinion. And yes, and let me show you actually how do I get to the $15,500 target. Almost forgot the main point of the video. If I actually draw a flag, right, from the top where we had, and I'm not going to the wicks because those are arbitrary. I'm going to the actual weekly closes, and I come all the way down here to the bottom of the crazy black swan event, basically due to the virus, and I do a measured move from where we broke out right here. You will see that if I come across, that is basically $15,551 right here from when we actually got above the resistance and closed above it. So there you go. That is the potential target for the $15,500 Bitcoin. We said that quite a long time ago, actually. I think this was well into when we were down here. We were calling about if we touch the top, we could potentially have this move, right? Also, for everybody that watched yesterday's video and was asking about the market cipher indicator, this is it right here. It's actually pretty good at calling sort of the short-term moves. It follows the money. For example, down here, you could see when when it has these two green dots, you call these like snake eyes down here. You could see that actually was talking about, they have anchor waves and trigger rate waves. And right here, there was that massive rally. This is good if you're longing or shorting. But anyway, getting back to the actual video yesterday, people were saying, oh, how can I get 50% off? I go to the website and I don't know how to do it. Well, if you guys are going to the website this week, if you're using the link below, it's already applied. So the 50% is already taken off if you guys are interested and you want to actually trade over on Market Cipher. And if you don't know how it works, there's actually an amazing guide you guys can check out. It's interactive. You can actually click on it right here and it tells you what all the symbols mean. It's actually a really, really nice thing. It shows you all these different things. So if you guys are interested, check that video out from yesterday. But like I said, the discount is already applied by using the link. So you just click it and it's already applied, okay? So that is that situation. If you didn't check out yesterday's video, go check it out. But discussing whether or not we are actually in a bullish season. Is it bullish for Bitcoin? Is this actually looking like 2016 into 2017? Now, I want to start with this post over on Reddit right here. And this person says, for me, it's the fourth autumn in crypto. And as subjective as it may sound, I must tell you for the first time, it does actually feel like 2017 all over again. 80% of institutional investors have or at some point will turn to Bitcoin as a hedge for the current global economic shit show. Traditionally, billionaires investing in Bitcoin and shilling on Twitter, bullish active addresses growing on-chain, the start of a bull stage of the cycle, decent altcoins with actual value propositions getting used by Fortune 500 companies, you name it. But I'm mainly talking about the vibe. When after all sorts of annihilation and capitulation, you have these OGs starting to feel optimistic going into the Christmas season. Google Trends, new wallets seem to have stabilized, and noobs popping up on Reddit, Telegram, Twitter, etc. Ergo, I just don't see it crashing anymore mid to long term. Not talking wicks and the usual short-term manipulations, might even briefly dip below 10K. That sounds like a summary of my video so far, but no way are we going to have a lower market cap on Christmas, let alone spring. Even if the stonks have a new long overdue crash, what do you think? What is your gut feeling? And I want to start a conversation below in the comments. Let me know. I love to hear what you guys think. Do you think that this is the sort of repeat of 2016 now in 2020 and 2021 is going to be the new 2017? Don't forget, we do always have these 4-year cycles for Bitcoin, right? So 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. Is 2021 the fourth year of the cycle? Is that when we're going to see the massive blow off top for Bitcoin, right? Well, Andrew Kang over here from Mechanism Capital, he basically says the backdrop for institutional adoption of Bitcoin is the strongest it's ever been. Low volatility, looming inflation, low yields, high valuation in other asset classes, price 50% off highs 3 years ago, validation from TradeFi Elite, established custody solutions. But guys, let's be honest. I think we really know what is the most bullish aspect of Bitcoin right now.
Who is Saylor? Saylor is a Bitcoin bull. 38,250 Bitcoins for the bull of bulls. The century Saylor, smarter, faster, stronger, longer. He hits Bitcoin harder, smarter. 38,250 Bitcoins for the bull of bulls. Saylor is a Bitcoin bull. 19.3 trillion times more secure for sure. Cyber Hornets respect the Saylor Bitcoin bull.
But all jokes aside, fun fact, considering that we have seen guys like Square and MicroStrategy invest, I did find this interesting. Every Norwegian now owns some Bitcoin, okay? Stick with me. Albeit indirectly a tiny amount. This is because the Norwegian government's pension fund holds a 2% stake in MicroStrategy. And MicroStrategy just bought around $425 million worth of Bitcoin. So technically, that means every Norwegian citizen now indirectly owns about $1.72 of cryptocurrency without even knowing it. But getting back to Bitcoin, like Pompliano said, at this point, you're violating your fiduciary duty if you invest capital on behalf of an institution and you have no exposure to Bitcoin. Your job is to find the best risk-adjusted returns. Nothing better than Bitcoin. About time we all start saying it loudly so they listen. Now, what about this insane Bitcoin that has not moved since Satoshi era a decade ago, and now we have 1,050 Bitcoin that were mined back in 2010, moving to 21 separate accounts, all in 50 Bitcoin increments. What is going on right now? Why is this happening? Who's been holding Bitcoin for a decade and just recently decided to break it off into 21 different accounts? Now, maybe they're just long-term hodlers, just shuffling it around. Could it be something bearish? Well, we've actually seen that recently, whenever we do get these suspicious sort of movements, there's always a little bit of FUD in the markets. Maybe people kind of freak out for a little bit, but ultimately nothing bad ever comes. In fact, I think the worst dip we ever saw based on this type of a Satoshi era movement of Bitcoins, whatever, it was like 8% or something. So, okay, worst case scenario, Bitcoin dips 8%. Can you handle the dip? Well, yeah, I could. I'll buy some more, You can actually see that a closer look reveals that one of the wallets was actually created the same day as the decade-old Bitcoin. So that was interesting. And that received about 1,000 Bitcoin worth 11.3 million. So very, very, very interesting movements. Now, let's discuss the DeFi bubble. This article over on Cointelegraph entitled Wolf of Wall Street on Steroids, DeFi may be a bubble, but it's making us stronger. We're in the middle of the greatest wealth transfer in human history, with DeFi finally solving the problem of financial inclusion. And I was actually having a conversation with one of my good friends in crypto about DeFi. We were talking about NFTs, all this different DeFi stuff. Is there even a point? Are they basically just creating a problem and then selling you the solution, right? It's the equivalent of basically somebody throwing a brick through a window. You pick the brick up and then it says, call this number for window repair. It's like, well, you understand where I'm going here? So is there actually another potential trend? That is what everybody's basically trying to hop on right now, right? Well, one thing I do want to mention is that, well, for example, okay, Binance Launchpad, right? You can see they actually have Injective Protocol. Now, Injective Protocol is a layer 2 solution for decentralized derivatives, right? So this is basically moving, like leverage trading, essentially, futures trading, to a decentralized manner. Is this something that people will actually be interested in? Well, this could potentially be a good use for decentralization or DeFi, right? So this is something to keep your eyes on. And you got to think, this is a centralized exchange, Binance, actually listing Injective Protocol. So this is something that's actually caught my eye. I'm interested. I know that we've had other iterations of this also. I'm not saying that these guys are the first to do it, but I am interested in their implementation of how they're taking their approach through second layer solution, right? Now, we also have Vitalik, and this was actually at the end of September. He was talking about prediction markets, right? We saw a lot of trends. We saw, first we had the, Yearn Finance stuff going on, all the clones that came after that. We had the crazy food tokens, all the different vegetables and farming. NFTs were going crazy. We saw deflationary yield farming like Core. And, prediction markets, he says, are unbundling. The outcome resolution layer, tokens that give you $1 if some event happens and $0 otherwise, and the market layer, how to trade those tokens, are separating. Great news for the future development of the space. And Augur, you can see, has been around for quite some time, and they do actually show this right here, having a look. Now, one of the projects that we spoke about, PlotX, they actually came out and said after rigorous development over the past year, they are actually looking to essentially have the prediction market protocol launching on the Ethereum mainnet. And this is happening tomorrow, actually. On the same date, liquidity for plot tokens will also be provided on Uniswap. They do actually have some updates. Nearly 10,000 predictions have already been made by over 2,400 unique addresses on the PlotX Alpha since August. 2 independent smart contract security audits have been conducted, so this is actually good. You don't want to have basically bugs in the code, right? You want to have it audited. Certic was one of them. Those guys are legit. We've been following them for a while, and they do say that tomorrow around 1 p.m. UTC, the protocol is going to be launched on the Ethereum mainnet. Now, by default, 2 market pairs, Bitcoin USD and ETH USD, will be available for users to predict on, and users will be able to predict using plot and ETH on market. So this could potentially be a trend to keep your eyes on. We do have to have a look at whether or not, the official bubble has burst, or if it's just evolving, if it's just sort of molding into something new, which is more of the direction I think it's going to go. I think it's going to sort of, evolve and morph into more legit decentralized finance, and I think we're not going to be farming, pickles and yams and things like that. Thank goodness. I was honestly very sick of, those things, to be totally honest with you. And actually, I do want to end on a pretty cool story. So actually, having a look over here, a Bitcoin ATM has been installed at the Tesla Fremont Gigafactory in Nevada. Now, Finbold.com also independently verified the existence of the ATM in the Tesla facility. They say, quote, "Our team has reached out to the LibertyX team for a comment on the ATM installation, but by press time, the team has not issued feedback. However, according to LibertyX, the ATM at the Tesla Gigafactory is already active and users can buy Bitcoin 24/7. So yes, my friends, there is a Bitcoin ATM in the Tesla factory. So yeah, there you guys go. Pretty bullish, I'd say. So with that being said, we do have actually two Ledger Nano S's to give away this week. So we do have obviously 7 videos, 1 video a day. Let's generate, see what video. That is video number 2. So that is, that was the scare about the Bitcoin catastrophic dump. That was going to be whether or not the tokens were going to get released to the Mt. Gox holders, right? So we do have to come over here, and yeah, let's see how many comments we had, and let's give away a Ledger Nano S, 2 Ledger Nano S's today. First one we're going to give away right now. Let's see who this goes to. So we had 523 unique comments. All right, drum roll, please. Winner, Hans-Henrik de Glassenap. Hopefully I said that right. Great channel. Would you mind telling what's the deal with the offer for Prime XBTs and how those extra 50% can be put to good use or claimed or whatever? Yeah, okay. So basically, if you're trading on Prime XBT and you use the code CryptoZombie, you actually get a bonus. The bonus is applied towards your trading. So you can't actually, you can't deposit a Bitcoin, get half a Bitcoin, and then just instantly deposit a Bitcoin in a half. Think of that. You would literally put the platform out of business. But what they do is apply that towards your trading fees and your trading, so you can actually use that on the platform. So it's a little bit of a buffer zone to basically play around with, but no, you can't instantly withdraw it. But Hans, nevertheless, you are the winner. Congratulations. By the way, if you guys are interested, those links are all below in the description, or if you're trading, just go to codes and just type in CryptoZombie. Good question, Hans. So you are the winner. Number 1, you know what to do. Basically go to my About section or hit me up in my Telegram. You are the winner. And the second winner today actually is, I said to everyone that's been subscribing and following me over on Crypto Atlas, if I broke 300 followers, which I did, thank you very much, I would give the 300th follower a Ledger Nano S, and I took a screenshot because it came up in my notification, so I couldn't save it. But Michael Larson, you were number 300. So congratulations. You also win a Ledger Nano S. So that's 2 Ledger Nano S's we're giving away this week. Thank you again, by the way, for everyone who has been supporting and for everyone that came out to the AMA. Really awesome questions. Thank you so much. But having a look right here at Bitcoin, are we looking to break out of this to the upside, to be honest with you, I am still bullish on Bitcoin. I mean, yeah, we could try to close the CME futures gap, but I don't see why, like, you know, Josh Rager was saying we couldn't be at a $12,000 Bitcoin by the end of this week. Now, if we do get up to that level, we are going to hit a lot of resistance, okay? Then I would certainly expect some kind of a healthy, just pull back to retest the levels. We're not going to go up in a straight line. We don't want to go up in a straight line. That's not good to do. That's unhealthy. That's when you have these really bad crashes, right? But yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason why, unless Trump comes out and has some ridiculously bearish news and everybody freaks out. You know, we're the trend is your friend until the end. We're trending up right now. That's basically the end of that. So CME gap could get filled possibly, but ultimately I remain bullish, and I do have that $15,500 target maybe by the end of this year, maybe sooner, maybe within a month from now. So that is it for me today. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. My name is K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. Until next time, stay crypto, and of course, peace out.